Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Dungeon Rummy. So I know Rummy is a popular game that a lot of people like. This one turns Rummy, instead of a competitive game, it is now a cooperative game. And in this, you are fighting monsters, silly monsters, almost drawn in a Munchkin style to this. So let's take a look, and we'll be right back. In this game, each person is going to be a character, and each character comes with a deck of cards that are numbered here from 2 to 10, or ace to 10, I guess I should say, with the 2s being wild, by the way. These cards are all of one color and match who that person is. You also have these 3 boots here. You're going to start with a very small pile of enemies. I just have all the enemies here kind of to show them. And the enemies are going to be attacking. So this, for example, each turn this one does 1 damage to everyone, and you'll keep track of hit points for your character as time goes by. And if any character is ever knocked out, that's going to end the game. So what players are going to do on their turn is, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a card into your hand. You'll have a hand of cards. At the beginning of the game, they're going to be all your color. But one of the things you can do, you can draw from your pile, but you can also draw from the graveyard. So if someone else's card is in the graveyard, I can draw that color. And this matters because players are going to be playing melds in front of them, where you want to play cards that are all the same number, but they have to be different colors. Or you can play a run, remembering 2s could be wild, so this could also be a 7. But you can never have cards next to each other, so this would not be allowed to go there, while it can go here. Cards can't be next to each other if they're the same color. Players can use boots to move a card from one zone to another zone. They can spend 2 boots to swap 2 cards, or spend 2 to send 2 cards over, or play a card from a companion's deck. What you can do is, when there is a meld in a zone, you can discard that meld whenever you want as an action to get rid of it and do damage equal to the number of cards to the bad guy. So this bad guy would now have 4 damage on him. We need to do 9 to him. So maybe someone else would then have a run of 5 more, and we'll take him out. When you make a meld, you're also going to count the number of mana symbols that are in the meld, and you will possibly get chips of your color. The barbarian gets shield tokens for every mana, and these can be spent to block damage, giving them to different players. The mage gets a draw tokens for every 2 mana, and you can use these to draw extra cards. The druid gets healing tokens that they can use to heal damage. And the bard, for 3, gets more wild tokens, which can be put on top of a card. It cancels the mana symbol there, but it also changes the number to be a wild, while it does retain the color. So all you have to do is beat a bunch of monsters and eventually get to the boss, and then defeat the boss, although the bosses have multiple stages to go through. This one has 2 stages, this one has 3 stages. And if you do that, you win. In the meantime, if anybody is knocked out, like I said before, then all the players lose. So I have kind of mixed feelings on the production of this. The artwork is take it or leave it. Do you like the silly picture on the front? Do you like the silliness of it? That's fine. Although I will say the silliness of the artwork doesn't really extend to the play of the game. The poker chips are great. The plastic trays are fine. The cards, everything looks distinct. It's easy to remember what each of the chips does. There's a lot of good things about that. Yet, the monsters, it's a little mind-blowing to me how they'll say, hey, for your first game, use a level 1 and use a level 2 monster. And which monsters do you use? It will tell you the names of them. But the names aren't on the cards at all. And in fact, there's a little bit of symbology in each of the cards, and I found it to be not intuitive. I guess they're trying to make a language independent, but I had to look in the back of the book and go through the list of all the monsters to find which ones they say to use first. It just would have been easier to mark them with 1s and 2s. There's just some oddities to that. The game is hard. It's really hard. I've seen some people talk about how easy the rules are, and they are kind of easy, but the game feels like you draw a card, and then you're trying to start a run, and you're trying to get to that run and beat it. Meanwhile, the monster just keeps beating on you, and hopefully you draw the right cards and build the right runs. You're allowed to talk to each other, and you're working together, but it doesn't particularly feel like a strong cooperative game, because since you can kind of talk about everything, and again, this game one of the problems these games has, and this, the sort of thing that this always has, is that weird, what can I say to other players type thing going on in the game. You know, you have these cards in your hand, and what are you allowed to tell people that you have? So it says, here's things you can say. I wouldn't be mad if Lily played a 3 or a 7, and I might have something useful for Bob's play zone. But a player cannot say, I have a Joker, a 5, and a 9 that I can play on Okie, Milton, and Lily's play zones. If you can say, I wouldn't be mad if Lily played a 3 or 7, come on. This vagueness of information really bugs me about these games, because they're like, you can be vague. How vague should you be? That's up to you. You can't say exactly what you have. So I don't have a 3, but I got, I don't care if I have a 4 or a 5 or a 2, something in the middle of that. It's just so nonsensical. And the game's already hard enough. Then to add in these weird communication rules. I'm just so over this vagueness of communication. Tell me what we can do or not do. But the idea of picking up you all have blue cards in your hand, and now I can pick up red cards from the graveyard, and we can build melds in them. That's good. There's a lot of luck involved with it. And I think that's where part of this game is going to fumble, is because it's going to be compared a lot to another game where you have a deck of cards to fight, and that's Regicide. And Regicide is an amazingly good, if not difficult game. I feel like this is on the level of Regicide or harder, honestly. It's a very difficult game. The chips for the different characters, the Barbarian has chips that block damage, and then the other guy has chips that heal damage. That's kind of the same thing, really, and it's the slightest bit different. The one that lets you draw more cards is the most interesting one. Let you turn in wilds is good, but your meld has to have at least 3 mana symbols. It's just, it's fine, and I understand the concept. I don't like it. No, I get that. This is a game where I'm not saying necessarily it's a bad game, but I don't particularly care for it. I'm giving this game a 5 out of 10 because I don't feel like the game does this cooperative nature of it, where one person can kind of alpha game, and the way they're going to stop that alpha gamer is to make vague communications. But the alpha gamer can still say, hey, you should do this, this, and this. There are treasure cards, which some of the monsters will give you when you get them, and they give you some special ability. But the boss being multi-stages, that's not particularly fun even in a video game. I don't know why they thought it would be fun as a board game. Like, oh, let's do 20 damage. We did it. Now let's do 21 more damage. Just, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky on this. I think there are people who are going to enjoy this. I just felt like it's not my style of this really, really slow Rummy game. Rummy, I can take or leave it. I like a lot of Rummy variants. The Mystery Rummy variant series is a lot of fun, but in those games, you're drawing cards, trying to build melds, doing that. Here, you're slowly playing a card, and then I play a 9, and someone's like, I was going to play a 9 there because maybe because I have the 8 of another color in my hand. Well, that would have been good information to know, but we weren't allowed to communicate it, although vaguely. So, there you go. Dungeon Rummy. It was a game that I kind of went into with a very, I can't wait to try this out. And I left going, oh, it's another card cooperative game. And there are amazing examples of these cooperative card games. The Crew, the Lord of the Rings trick-taking games that have limited communication, but they're very clear on what you can say and not say. This one's less clear. It has a silly theme. It doesn't really translate to the game. And relies on a good chunk of luck on how these cards come in your hands. We have a meld of 3 out there. We need 1 more, and no one draws another 8 for the rest of the game. There are ways to work around these things. There are things that you can do. I understand that I don't think it's an unsolvable game. It's just like I said. It's just not for me. So that's Dungeon Rummy. Also, this box is driving me nuts. Very side note here, but if you make a box that looks square, it needs to be square. This one's not. So, anyhow, that's Dungeon Rummy. Check it out if you want. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games. We do top 10s. We play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.